What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at a Love Cup team, which obviously includes Scrafty, as you saw in the thumbnail, and also, as you can see here, will include Galarian Slowbro. And that's because the two of these Pokemon together actually create a really great core, beating basically everything. I mean, ignore Slowbro because that's an even matchup, and that just comes down to CMP. But you only lose to Skeleturge and Ariados. Those two Pokemon are the only two Pokemon that can break this core. And even with that said, Skeleturge, if you've got an energy lead on either of these Pokemon, it becomes beatable. So we have to use a safe swap that kind of can take care of those two. So obviously, the number one top ranked Pokemon, Licky, rollout user, hits super effective against both. And then Earthquake for neutral and Ariados, and super effective on Skeleturge. So without further ado, let's look at some battles. I do want to apologize in case my voice is coming off a little bit differently in this video. I'm a little bit under the weather, to be completely honest, but that did not stop me from one of the best games of my life, and you'll see that at the very end of this video. So hopping into the first match, we've got a Miltank on the lead. So this is pretty neutral, but Miltank will just win this straight up because of its bulk. So I try and go for a Thunderbolt catch on my Licky. I'm unsuccessful, but they end up throwing anyways, which is exactly what I want, right? Like, I want them to use their energy, and I want them to throw it on my Licky and then save the energy on my Slowbro. This matchup is IV dependent for CMP. Fortunately, we do win it in this matchup, which means we should be able to take the knockout here with the body slam on CMP. And we do. So what is that Pokemon in the back that they did not want to come in? And it is a Licky of their own. So ABA normal rollout user so far by my opponent. I threw the body slam right away, even though I could have been as an Earthquake because I thought they were going to throw the body slam. But I probably just should have farmed up and let them take me out and then been dry on energy. But then they have a Talonflame in the back. Unfortunately, I do have Scald for coverage. I didn't want to go for the Surf because it does require an Elite TM, and I didn't already have it on this Pokemon. This time I'm just going straight Brutal Swing, hoping that my opponent has lost count. And they double shield, which means at this point I can just let my Slowbro go down because I do have a Thunder Punch loaded, or close to a Thunder Punch on my Scrafty. And because they throw right away, I'll be able to make it to a Thunder Punch after probably only 2 more counters, which would be great because that would be out in good timing. And this is exactly what happens. And even though it's non-stab, it is super effective on the Talonflame, which is more than enough to take it out. And then it's just that Licky in the back. Can we outpace? No, they are going to get to a move first, but an Earthquake will not KO from this range. Scrafty is pretty bulky, and I'm able to get to the foul play, and this will be more than enough to KO the Licky, and we're able to take that first match. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Okay, here's the core breaker on the lead, and this is obviously not where we want to see it. So what we do is we throw 1 poison jab, so we get a little bit of energy, and then we switch into Licky because that defers the incinerate damage on to Licky. If you throw 2 poison jabs, then you'll actually take the damage because it registers on 4 turns. But they meet me with a Metacham, which is actually great because this is what we want to bait out with the Licky. And this is a Psycho Cut Medi, so they're actually unable to farm down, which means they're going to have to throw again, unless they want to take a move. And we are able to make it to a body slam. And this will probably grab a shield or the knockout. And I actually instant swap, and that's just because I know, even though if I lose this matchup, I'm going to want an energy lead on my Slowbro, so I have energy that I can throw at this Skeleturge. They do full send this Shadow Ball, fortunately for me, and I'm full sending the Scald because my opponent should know that a Brutal Swing only does about 50% of their HP, and they do let that through, so that's actually huge. Down goes the Skeleturge. Are they going to come back in with the Medi? No, they're going to come in with their third, and their third is a Miltank. unable to get to the Scald before they make the body slam, so just going to settle for the brutal swing. And my opponent's going to have to throw him, or else I'm going to get to a move, and that's huge because now we can just align our Scrafty onto the Miltank, and this should be a done deal game. They go for a catch on to the Medi. I'm just not going to throw, farm them all the way down with resisted counters, shield up the dynamic punch, come out with energy loaded. My opponent realizes they no longer have a win con, and they resign the match. Licky on the lead. So playing it same as the Miltank. I wonder if I'll throw this time. Yes, and this time I throw, and then I'll probably throw one more and then try and catch, because that will allow me to get a rollout through if they do throw. But they don't. And they do go for the Earthquake though, so they did use energy, which is exactly what we want. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I do full send the Earthquake here because I baited a couple times in the past, and every single time I baited I had it called, so I full sent the Earthquake. They throw their energy pretty much as soon as they get it, and I'm actually able to make the body slam before they give me the parting gift of death. Couple more poison jabs, but unfortunately my best answer is my own slow bro, and they also deny my fast move. I get one turn bring in, which is pretty unfortunate. I'm gonna throw as soon as I get there because I wasn't sure exactly of their energy, and this will not KO, but after one more poison jab it will. And there's that licky, and can I get the catch this time of the Earthquake is the question. No, 0 for 2. They went for the body slam bait, and there's another Skeleturge in the back, so how the hell are we going to make it out of this one? We do farm up to the foul play. Don't want to bait because if they try and call it, then that gives me a potential win con. They are at back-to-back moves here, so I kind of have to let this go. And Disarming Voice will take me out, but I think I can get the full farm down even if they try and bait here. But they do just go straight Shadow Ball, and I'm able to get the full farm down. Now the question is, can I make it to 2 brutal swings before they make it to an Earthquake? And I think the answer is yes. Back-to-back brutal swings are reached. They are not the Earthquake, as we saw the rollout go through. And even though my opponent force quit the app, it is still going to be a win. Okay, so 2 Skeleturges, clearly not too bad of a core breaker. I'd argue Soul Rock is more of a core breaker because Psy Waves are neutral. We are half Psychic, half Poison. Super effective on the Poison, obviously, and resisted on the Psychic. But I actually just go for a Brutal Swing, knowing I will outpace, and then just going into my licky, baiting out my opponent's licky, and they just go straight body slam. And I think just because they were trying to remove the fact that they were down energy, so just throwing right away, which is the right play. But unfortunately, the licky matchup is actually 2 Earthquakes, and they're just going straight body slam in this matchup, which leads me to believe that they're probably on Shadow Ball, most likely. That does mean I'm going to get more free rollouts through, and we're actually able to flip switch. Can we make it to an Earthquake before they KO? Does my opponent know this is an Earthquake is the better question. And they don't. They let it through. It's Clefable in the back, and even though we would have been hard counter with Scrafty, they actually no-shield that, and Slowbro would have been aligned, and that would have been an easy win. Mirror leads in the next match. So this is one that comes down to CMP, and it looks like we won CMP on the first Brutal Swing, so that's huge, and that's great knowledge. That 3 attack coming in clutch on that Slowbro. Obviously we know that they're probably going to go for a catch, but there's not really, we don't really have a choice other than throwing, because if we wait the turn, then they do end up throwing, then they end up just winning that matchup. So forced to throw, so what I'm going to do is farm back up 1 short of the Brutal Swing and then catch on my own Pokemon, the Scrafty in the back, and then getting the alignment that we need here. And this is a matchup where, because they've landed a Body Slam, even if they land an Earthquake here, it will not KO, and we will be able to get the full farm down before they even able to make it to another Body Slam. So that's huge because we come out with loads of energy. And they have a Medicham in the back, and looks like a counter did go through, so this is a counter Medicham this time. And had I known that, I probably should have gone double Thunder Punch. And then now I've got the issue of I only have my Licky pretty much with any HP. Fortunately, counters are double resisted here, so I can come in with the Slowbro and actually get to 2 moves, which is pretty huge, because at this point that puts them in Body Slam range. And because they only have 1 shield, I can shield everything from this Medicham. And then just go for back-to-back Body Slams. 1 Body Slam will grab the shield. They obviously want to get this energy off. Even if they bait, I'm just shielding everything here. It'd be too risky to try and call bait. And they go for a Body Slam catch. At this point, I have to let this through because they're close. They're already at a move on the Medicham. And I wasn't sure who wins CMP, so I farm up to back-to-back Body Slams. This will be enough to KO the Slowbro. And then I have the body Slam loaded for the Medicham. And this will be enough to KO. And we're able to take that game. Okay, about halfway through, we got Jimbo Slice in the next game. Mag Cargo. So this is not a great lead. We do have double super effective Scalds. That being said, Poison Jabs are resisted, and they would outpace. So I come in with my Licky. I've got 2 better answers for Mag Cargo in the back, and they respond with Crocodile. Crocodile is hard for this team because we are ABA weak to ground in that lead there, with the rollouts being resistant on Licky. Fortunately, we did get a successful bait off. Crocodile is classy, so I did expect them to shield, and look at that earthquake damage. So now we put them in good farm down range, hoping that they just go straight crunch in this matchup, and then probably just going to go straight Scrafty. But unfortunately, my opponent is smart. They throw 1 Mud Slap just to check what I come in with, and then they throw the super effective Brick Break. And they have Ariados in the back, which is another core breaker. So we are ABA weak to this team all over the place. I have no idea how we're going to get out of this matchup. Just kidding, I do. But getting to the Scald, I should have baited here, but they were unlikely to no shield that. And they do go for the Rock Tomb, so at this point I'm putting 2 shields on Scrafty. And I know this is not going to be an overheat, but once again, I just have to shield this. I'm getting too low, and the incinerates would add up way too much. And at this point, can I get the full farm down? Just barely. By 1 turn I can. That lets me leave with basically 100 energy to threaten this Ariados. But unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to need 3 moves, and I should have thrown double Thunder Punch here, knowing that another Flower Play wouldn't do enough damage. But fortunately for me, they aren't able to make it to 2 moves before I'm able to get to the Thunder Punch, and we're able to take that game. So 2 core breakers on that team, and still able to grab the win. Medicham on the lead, so this is a good lead. Even if they're on Psycho Cut, it's still a decent lead. It's just more of a neutral matchup instead. Obviously their Psycho Cuts don't add up, but their Psychics do. And yeah, that is about 50%. And I'm not going to bait here. I'm going to full send the Scald. I want that extra damage, and they're probably not expecting the harder hitting damage of the Scald. And then that lets me get to a Brutal Swing at the same time they get to their next Psychic. And this will be enough to KO, which it does. And what is in the back? A Scrafty. So that is interesting. I bank the move, try and catch a foul play on my own Scrafty, because obviously I'm reading that they're weak to my Slowbro in the back. And they're staying in this matchup, so maybe they're weak to the Scrafty as well. I'm not really sure what would be weak, unless they're weak, have something that's like a Ghost, which is weak to Dark Pokemon up energy. That's kind of my only guess. But no, it is a Mag Cargo, and they were worried about the Scald and Slowbro, so that makes sense. A Pokemon that's kind of ABA weak to us. We are able to get to 2 Thunder Punches here, which is huge. Able to grab 1 shield. At this point, I can come in with Slowbro. I'm not going to bait here because I still have a full health Licky, which has double super effective Earthquake in the back. So I'm going to grab that last shield, and then finally I can come in Licky. And at this point, my opponent no longer has a win con. One overheat won't even KO, so I'm going to no shield this. And they bait with a rock tomb, and at that point my opponent knows they no longer have a win con. Yeah, this team worked really well for me at the start. I think I went, I don't know, maybe like 18-2 with this team. Helped me climb from 2,500 all the way to 2,700. So slowly approaching veteran, a little bit later this season than normal, but that's okay. We've got Love Cup on for 2 weeks, so it's good to figure out the meta now. Although Mamolas are pretty neutral Pokemon here. And that being said, I will shield the Psychic, and then I'm just going to farm up and throw right before they make it to their next move, because at this point I'm one away from another Brutal Swing. And if they shield, I can always catch the Psychic on my Scrafty there, because it's single resisted, because it'd be double resisted on the dark, single super effective on the fighting. But they come in with Wormadam Trash. So now I'm going to align my Scrafty to this, because these confusions are doing just nothing like that. That really sucks. I am going to shield this. I'm going to go down 2 shields because Bug Buzz would hurt, and I know they're not going to bait that there. And then I throw the Thunder Punch on CMP with their next move, really hoping that they just let this through and try and go 2 shield with what's in the back, but unfortunately they don't. They want to land this Bug Buzz, and that makes sense, especially because we don't know what's in the back yet. And it is a Druddigon. Only going to make it to 1 move here, so I may as well go for the harder hitting Foul Play. It's also neutral as opposed to resisted Thunder Punch. And at this point, I just have to make it to back-to-back body slams. Fortunately, Dragon Claw, Night Slash, not really worried about any 1 move here. And we do have the pacing advantage. So just going to get to back-to-back body slams. My opponent realizes what energy I'm at, and they resign the match. This may be the last battle of the video. Same lead with Mag Cargo, where we throw 1 Poison Jab and then dip. This one's staying in, and I think they tried to catch an Earthquake there, but I hold on to my energy. I'm going to throw the Earthquake anyways at the Medi. And it is a counter Medi, which means I do outpace to another Earthquake, which is great. Because this will put them very low. Yeah, it puts them in the red, so at this point, I can grab a shield if I can make it to the body slam, but I just barely don't. And so now it's a redart on the Ice Punch, Psychic, Dynamic Punch, which combination of the 2? And I'm reading that they're not on the Psychic, but unfortunately my read was wrong. I figured with counter that they would be on Ice Punch, but alas. And then they come back in with the Mag Cargo, but I figured if they were hard switching, they would not pulse in the overheat and immediately debuff themselves. So I no shield, calling the bait. It is just a Rock Tomb. This is probably also a Rock Tomb, yeah, but I have to shield it. And it's Miltank in the back, so they're ABA weak to counter, which is huge. Scrafty, you're going to put in a lot of work in this end game. But they do have 2 shields, and our attack is lowered. So this is pretty uncomfortable. I did just go straight Thunder Punch, hoping that they would shield the first, but they didn't. You should go stab Foul Plays when you can, because they just do that much more damage. But at this point, we get the correct, the incorrect call there. But I don't know if you just witnessed what happened there, but I CMP sack swapped and won CMP. So I caught, I switched and got my move off at the same time as they were throwing their move, and that will allow me, because they got rid of their energy before coming in, I'll be able to get the full counter farm down, and then it's just the Miltank in the back, which will also get counter farm down, and we're able to take that win. Yeah, so let me, for those of you that aren't familiar with what a CMP sack swap is, let me go back and actually show you what I'm doing here. So I shield up the Thunderbolt correctly, and so right here I throw 4 counters, which is 8 turns. My opponent is throwing 3 rollouts, which is 9 turns, which means this is 1 turn before. However, switching also takes 1 turn. So as I switch into the Slowbro, that takes a turn, so as they're clicking their move after the 9 turn, it's also 9 turns for me because of the 1 turn switch, which means we're getting the move the exact same time. Slowbro wins CMP in this matchup. So I click the move that I know I have banked, and that allows me to get off this Brutal Swing while also sacrificing. And it doesn't KO, which is unfortunate, but that's fine because we're sacrificing this. My opponent makes the correct play of undercharging there so that they can get energy on their mag cargo, but it's too little too late. I've got my counter user now aligned on their mag cargo, and they just do not have enough energy. They need one more incinerate to get to a move, and that's how we countered farm down the rest of the team. So yeah, that is the team. It's very classic to your ABB style team. Two things weak to fighting in the back. You've got a poison psychic, which double resist fighting on the front. Obviously dark and poison make a great core, which is why Drapion is so strong in the Open Great League, because it's that typing combined. But yeah, because think about it, dark is weak to fairy, it's weak to fighting, and then poison resists fairy, it resists fighting, it's super effective on fairy, so very good strong core there. And then Licky as your safe swap, just neutral play into pretty much everything. It's ranked 1 for a reason, it's just super strong. But yeah, that is the team, and that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that CMP sack swap ending. I hope you guys stayed to the end to enjoy, and I hope my voice wasn't too much of a turn off for this video. But thank you all for watching, and until next time, peace.